Hey, what's up, pro wrestling fans? Welcome to the Nation's Corner. I am Front Row, joined this week by, of course, our very own Debhausen, and returning to our stream, Mongrovian Mike. What's up, people?
What's up? I
That
got
was
nervous.
perfect
Nothing
timing.
happened. I just got nervous. I said, you know what? I pulled the cord.
It's like your 100th show. You get nervous.
Oh my god.
Oh, man. Well, tonight's going to be a fun show. We got a very special guest. It's going to be joining us in just a few minutes. Chrissy from, you've seen her on Twitter. You've seen her all over Instagram and social media. She has an incredible story, and we're really excited to talk with her tonight. Before we bring our guest in, though, I do want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. I see Brian's in the chat. I see RA is in the chat. We have Mrs. Front Row. Deb's in the chat. Wait, that's you. With so many people. Greetings, everyone. Appreciate everybody joining us tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sam in Cleveland is with us.
Sam.
Sammy.
Beth, of course. David Mitchell, and there's Neil's in there, I think, as well. So, a lot of people join us. Oh, Mac Davis is in the chat as well. What's up, Mac? So, what was your week like? Talk briefly about your week because we got our guests waiting in the green room.
It was work as usual. Work. Went to the AAW Atlantic All Star Wrestling last Saturday. That's why I wasn't on the show last week. We had a great time. Took a bunch of pictures and videos. So if you didn't get a chance to see that, you can see the full videos on our Instagram. Twitter only allows you to post like a minute and 20 seconds, I think. And so, yeah, we had a great time there. We love going to indie wrestling shows. In fact, if I wasn't on the show tonight, we'd be down the street at PPW. So there's that.
Yeah. Mike, what about you?
Well, I was doing the same thing. You were at the one show. I was at Creator Pro in Long Island here, and just saw a great show. Saw MJF. Saw him beat up our friend Leo Sparrow. Sorry, Leo.
Shout out to Leo.
Love you, Leo. My new friend and new favorite female wrestler, Gabby Forza. She's awesome. She's strong. She's the know me, and she's my homie.
Nice.
So
okay.
I just love it. It was a great show. It was a great show all around. Of course, we had our friends. Our friends, the Even Stevens were in action, and it's just there's too many to even list. But it was a wild thing. It was. I was very happy to see Leo get MJF in the ring. That was really good for him, and that tells us all something about Leo. Yes. That there's special things on the horizon for that young man.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I would agree. I didn't do a lot wrestling related this week. We did have a big weekend last weekend. Our son graduated from college, so it was a lot of people are, shout out to our son Cameron, who's off to grad school at Chapel Hill. We're super proud. These guys are probably sick of hearing me tell the stories, but we're still super proud. So, so he's off to a new adventure, and we're excited for him. But that was a busy weekend for us last weekend. A lot of wrestling happened this week, and we're probably going to talk about a little bit of it towards the end. But before we get to that, let's bring in our special guest. Welcome to the show, Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Hey, good. Chrissy.
Well, it is awesome to finally meet you. I have been following you on social media, and you're such a strong voice for anti-bullying and just a light of positivity. And we were excited when you had the opportunity to join us tonight. So first of all, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And let's let the folks watching in a little bit on sort of where did your love of wrestling begin?
2016 when I started watching Total Divas.
Oh.
Okay.
There you go.
That's interesting. Yeah. We've seen a lot of people come to wrestling through the reality shows, and So who were some of your favorite characters on the show?
The Bella twins for one thing, and Paige and Nia Jax and stuff like that.
Awesome. Paige was one of my instant favorites when she first debuted. I love her. I love her to this day.
Yeah, if you get a chance, go back and look at, if you haven't already, go back and look at some of her early NXT matches. She was one of the real pioneers in NXT women's division back in 2013 and 14. Yeah, I gravitated towards her as a person too. Really interesting stories that they were telling on that show.
Yeah,
Definitely. So
go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Chrissy, who was the first wrestler that reached out to you when you started to get picked on online?
Well, Liv Morgan. I
Ah,
posted a picture with Liv when I went to a house show in Rochester. That's
awesome.
how it all started.
and she just
Wow.
reached out to you and said, "Hey, kid, I have your back." And
Yes.
did that just start the dam to burst, and like you just started having wrestlers say, "Hey,
She actually commented
don't
on
mess
my
with this kid."
photo and stuff like that. And then she DM'd me saying, I got your back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that
That's
really
amazing.
Is. And
I've seen a
Randy
lot
Orton,
of fan interaction that Liv does, and she seems like such a genuinely nice person that is really good to her fans.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I've seen her live. I was in front row, hard cam side. So she was right there when she gets into the ring, and yeah, she connects with the audience, and she connected with you really in a really special way. That's an awesome thing. Who else? Tell us about Randy Orton.
Randy was the next one, and then Matt Riddle.
Wow. Okay.
Like, no one's gonna mess with you now. I mean,
And,
really.
oh,
Yeah, if you got Randy Orton and Matt Riddle on your side,
yeah.
I don't care. I don't
Randy
want to get
actually
slapped
gave me
in the
his
face
jacket.
with Riddle's foot. What was that, huh?
Randy actually gave me his jacket, and when I went to Buffalo Monday Night Raw for my first Monday Night Raw, and Matt Riddle actually pointed out myself in the audience, and then Randy gave me his jacket.
So what was that moment like for you when you saw that Randy was coming over towards you?
It was a special moment for me. I will never forget.
Yeah,
I believe it.
I'm sure.
Do you live up in upstate New York area?
I live in Rochester, New York. I live in Gates.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were that young.
Yeah. I'm actually almost 30.
What?
Wow.
Dang.
Wow.
Well,
Jeez.
I'm over 50, so you're very young to me.
Well then please explain to us what you were born with. You were
I was born with a heart condition and scoliosis and autism and a learning disability.
See,
wow.
And this other thing called something called Marfan syndrome. It's where you're very tall and have skinny hands and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to share a little story with you. Like a super inspirational story that I shared with the rest of our friends in this group. I have a cousin who is autistic, and he had a very rough childhood. He lost both of his parents to two different cancers by the time he was like 10 years old. He moved to Alabama to live with some like distant family. and
Okay.
he thrived there. And he just graduated from the University of West Alabama and got a scholarship to go to the University of South Carolina. So
wow.
he is
That's
he
amazing.
is such an inspirational story that anybody can overcome any type of learning disability, anything like that.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
So what made you, when did you begin all of your positive posts on Twitter? Because I feel like you have a very strong following and you're always posting these great inspirational messages and you get a really strong positive response to it.
Yes. It was when I posted a picture with Liv, and then everything went from there.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, because you have thousands of followers who support you
Yeah.
and it's just awesome to see.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I love seeing your inspirational messages almost every day. Just
Okay.
talking about, anti-bullying. So tell us a little more about the anti-bullying and obviously you have gone through bullying yourself. So what made you want to kind of be that inspiration for other people with the message of positivity?
I just want everybody to be kind to others and treat others with respect.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
that's a great message because on social media it can either be very positive, there's some negativity there, but
Yeah.
I feel like you're drawing the right people to your message and you're getting just a strong wave of support, which is just awesome to see. You can
Yeah,
shine a light on the darkness.
Yes.
exactly.
I see my wife, Mrs. Front Rose, in the chat. She says we need more positivity like this online. I agree.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think we were talking.
especially in the wrestling community, there's a lot of people out there that just tend to, kind of thrive in the negativity, and we need, I think as a community as a whole, we need to show that the positivity is definitely the way to go. And we can block out the negativity.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is hard though. I can imagine, we all see people who are in the public spotlight, wrestlers and actors and musicians. Sometimes it's hard to filter out all that stuff. So it's really nice to
Right.
see someone like you on the timeline sort of pushing that stuff aside and putting the good stuff in the front, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Um, so I did want to ask you, like, what sort of wrestling are you gravitating towards today? Like, what are your favorite shows right now?
I like WWE for one, and AEW, and I like the local ones around here, like Rome, New York, and
Okay.
Okay, so independent wrestling, that experience is different than like the big WWE shows, right?
yeah.
Do you like the smaller shows with all the energy, or do you like the big shows with all the production and stuff?
I like the smaller energy ones. Everybody is so nice, and you can meet them one on one and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can just say from our very own Mission Pro Wrestling, we have, a core group of fans that come to the shows all the time, and they make it so much fun and so much energy, and they interact with the wrestlers, and it's just a fun. Do you have the same type of thing at your home promotion?
Yeah, we do. I go like once a month to like Immortal or
Hmm.
Flower City
Okay.
Wrestling. Flower City Wrestling is um my uncle's my uncle owns it.
Oh.
Oh,
My stepmother's niece is husband owns it.
All
It's a
Okay.
right.
small world that we live in.
That's awesome.
so
So
have
Yeah.
when
they
you
asked
go
you?
to the local shows like that, you get to meet all the wrestlers. Who are some of your favorite local wrestlers that you've been able to talk to?
Kayla, Sparks,
Mm-hmm.
and Mike. His wrestling name is Moonlight Sun.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's awesome.
We are big
Yeah.
fans of Kayla Sparks. Kayla was on our show at the very early, when we first launched a couple years
I
ago.
was actually
Uh,
watching that episode last night.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
By
That's cool.
stranger.
Awesome. Thank you.
She's going to be returning to the show very soon, so stay tuned.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool that you have a friendship with her, because I know she was
Yeah.
supporting your appearance today, which is awesome.
Yes.
But
I was actually texting with her last night about it too.
Cool.
That's cool.
well, well, like we have a guy David LaGreca that we all listen to all the time on Busted Open, and he always says, he goes, you could have 1,000 positive things said to you on social media, but then that one negative idiot out there that has to say something, and then that's the thing that sticks in his head. So that he could take people saying mean stuff because he knows they're just trying to be idiots with him. But when what happened? What was the first time someone said something mean? Did you just post a picture on social media and say, hey, I'm having fun here, and then immediately somebody started?
When I posted that picture with Liv Morgan, I was smiling and somebody made fun of my smile.
Well, first of all, let me just say you have a beautiful smile, and your smile radiates from within, right from your heart. You're beautiful, and the hell with what that a-hole said.
Apple.
Language, sir.
Yes.
Apple.
I'm not going to curse like LaGreca. We'll see how that works.
You're going to get us canceled.
So I want to ask you, as a woman, like body positivity is always difficult for women, especially, obviously it's an issue for men as well, but for women, we feel this pressure to look a certain way. So how have you overcome that and kind of been able to have the self-esteem and the confidence in yourself to not only post pictures, but to kind of shrug off people who might, make fun of the way you look?
Well, my Aunt Kendra actually gave me like lots of advice to be more confident in yourself and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will say, it may not seem like it to some people, but I feel like every woman has, no matter how beautiful they are, every woman has things that they wish they could change about them, insecurities and I myself, like it's only been I'm 33 and it's only been within the last couple of years that I felt comfortable even just posting pictures of myself, even considering the thought that people find me pretty. So yeah, I think that's something that we all deal with. So you're definitely not alone in that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's been such an interesting journey, I think, for a lot of us. We were talking just before, for those watching, give you a little behind the scenes. We were talking briefly and sharing with Chrissy our story, which a lot of we met through the pandemic, and a lot of us have grown as people and become more confident and just really grown as people throughout this friendship. And it all happened online. So there was a positive thing that came out of the internet, right? We all met online. We started talking, we started getting on Zoom and stuff. And here we are 3 and change years later, going to shows all over the country and hanging out with everybody. So keep doing what you're doing, because it's having a very positive effect on the wrestling community and the internet at large. So
yeah.
Thank you.
But I did want to ask you a couple of quick questions. We're going to probably dive into some wrestling talk in a few minutes, and you're more than welcome to stay and give us your opinions on stuff. We'd love to hear from you. But as for me personally, as a big supporter of women, everybody here, but me personally as a supporter of women's wrestling, have there been a couple of stars over the last few years that have really been like, besides, your Liv Morgan experience, were there other big stars that you've been a fan of?
Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
Yes. We love Thunder.
Yeah. I will share with you that Thunder's a good friend of mine. It's a good friend of ours, actually. And I talked to her yesterday and let her know you were coming on the show.
Oh, really?
So she's traveling, but she's going to check out the interview. So she said to say hi. She was excited to see you on the show. Yeah. And we're going to talk about this in a few minutes, but the announcement of her being on the new Collision show, AEW's got that big show coming up on Saturday. So many exciting things going on. Was there any one match or specific pay-per-view from Thunders that you liked the most?
Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker.
Which one? The cage match or the lights out match? Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good one. Front row was ringside there for that moment.
Oh, really?
Here's the confetti from the cage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was an exciting event. We got to be ringside for that, and the energy in that building, it shook the building. It was crazy.
Yeah.
If it was loud on TV, it was even louder in person. Yeah, it was awesome.
Right.
Okay, so is there are you promoting anything? Do you have anything that you want to promote before we start talking about the week of wrestling?
I just want to thank all my supporters and all my aunts, like my Aunt Kendra, my Aunt Freya, and my 2 other aunts from New Jersey Housewives.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
You have a lot of support.
Before that, it's more than just wrestlers though. You've been on soap opera sets.
Soap opera.
Also, condolences to your Aunt Jackie Zeman,
Thank you.
a longtime General Hospital actress that was on that soap opera since almost day one, probably. And sorry about that, but you Young and the Restless too, right?
Yeah, I actually did Ancestry a couple years ago, and I found out that my cousin is Laura Lee Bell from the Ancestry.
Cricket?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, cricket.
Wow. Imagine if you were related to Victor Newman. Imagine if that would be Eric Braeden. He is the cool. Isn't Eric Braeden the coolest? My wife loved that's her all-time favorite. And if you ever want to check out a movie, go on Netflix. The Man Who Came Back. Eric Braeden stars in that. It's a brutal movie. He really gets revenge though. He's always Victor Newman.
And he was in Titanic too.
Yes, he was. He didn't do too good. Victor Newman didn't do too good against the tidal wave. No.
I actually did an audition for the Young and Restless.
When was that?
It was a couple months ago.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow. What was that experience like?
Oh, it was so. I was so nervous about it.
Who else did you meet from the Young and the Restless? Did you meet Jack?
No, not him. I met Melody. Do you know who Melody Thomas Scott is?
Oh, Nikki. Yeah, of course.
Nikki, yes, Nikki.
I know this. You know what? I just want to pause you 1 second. I have my 2 friends here on the show here are in awe because I'm actually having a conversation. This is because my wife, also my wife, she's still like a half a month behind. Like I'm seeing,
really?
I don't know how far behind she is. I go upstairs, she's watching DVR of Young and the Restless, and they go, coming up, the election. We'll buy you win. And I'm like, what are they talking about? The weather, it's a snowstorm. I'm like, it's summer. What are you, where are you? But anyway, I digress. But
yeah, I don't know soap operas, so I am so out of the loop with that.
What about what's going on with Phyllis right now?
Oh, I know.
It's Summer.
I know. I never met Summer. I just met Phyllis.
She's cool, right?
Yeah, I actually miss her as Nina on General Hospital.
What about Christian LeBlanc?
I actually met him. He's very nice.
He is the most awesome. He is so cool.
She actually follows me too on my other Twitter.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Wow.
Wow.
that is pretty cool. Well, good
Yeah.
for you, kid.
Also, Kathy Hilton actually follows me on my other social media.
There you go. I mean, you gotta
You're an
do what you gotta
influencer.
do. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
You're
becoming an influencer.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
bona fide
Yes. A
influencer. You've got some
positive
strong
media
people following you.
influencer.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, okay. I want folks to make sure that they can follow you at BelChrissy1 on Twitter. And I think they can find all your other socials on Instagram. You're everywhere. So folks, make sure to go give Chrissy a follow. And I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight. You're welcome to hang out with us for a few. We're gonna talk about the week in wrestling. So let's switch into. I did want to really talk about this NXT women's tournament, the women's championship tournament. I know this week was a big week. We saw. Let me pull up the graphics here. Our tournament now is moving into May 28th at Battleground. We're going to see Tiffany Stratton versus Roxanne Perez, and Lyra Valkyria versus Cora Jade. Man, I don't know how to pick this one, but if I had to pick today, I think we might see Roxanne versus Cora. Any thoughts on, and Mike, I know you're invested in this as well. Any thoughts on where they might, is Roxanne going to get her title back?
Yeah, well, I see it here. You had Cora Jade was going up against who? Lyra Valkyria, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I see Lyra going over on that one, and I see Roxanne definitely has to go over, but she could have she could slip on a banana peel. I don't know.
I hope not. It sounds
Yeah,
dangerous.
because I know we don't see she could definitely get that pop rocks on Tiffany Stratton, but I know people are on the back burner with the Tiffany Stratton. I'm kind of seeing the persona coming out, like not kind of like Orange Cassidy, nonchalant, but nonchalant in a like, oh, I don't care, Daddy will fix everything for me anyway. I'm a little rich girl. That's what the persona she comes out at, which is obviously very hateable.
I think y'all know that I'm
Tiffany and
pulling for Cora
going
Jade.
Yeah, it's
We know you're a Cora Jade fan. Hey, man, Cora
I'm a Cora
Jade.
Jade fan.
One of the many former Mission Pro Wrestling talents. I'm all behind, but so is Roxanne Perez. So
Right.
it becomes difficult. Chrissy, are you watching NXT lately?
On and off, but I like Cora Jade. She's my favorite. On
Yeah.
NXT.
Yes.
A big fan.
Yes.
It's interesting because I'm a big fan of the storylines that don't always revolve around the title. Like I like the secondary storylines, and this story, like Roxanne Perez beat JC Jane in the semifinals or the quarterfinals this week, but then Gigi Dolan came out and she's still feuding with JC Jane, and I love this feud because it's a result of when Mandy Rose left. It left these two women sort of at odds. Like, what do we do now that we're no longer part of a faction? And I love this feud that's been carrying on over the past 6 months or whatever it is, 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
It is an awesome feud, and because also it's not over a title. It's not over any position. It's about just it's a pure blood feud. They wanna kill each other, and that's more fun.
Gigi. Yeah, Gigi's story, man. If you go back and watch Gigi when she was in the Indies, she had a match with Thunder on UWN, right? And it was just awesome. They had just a knockdown, drag out feud. I think Thunder was defending her NWA title at the time, but that was just after the right after the pandemic, and to see Gigi come back and just kick ass. She's completely transformed her in-ring style, and now we see her just what she's doing on NXT is amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and I'm going to jump all over the place here because my brain's like that today. I was a big fan of seeing Grayson Waller on NXT and the stuff that he was doing there, and then you fast forward to SmackDown this week, and he's in there with AJ Styles. Like, what? Oh, Brian's in the chat. Hang on. Brian says we need to get Chrissy to a Mission Pro show. I agree.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
you
I
would.
love
You would
that.
love it.
Yes.
Where is that held actually?
In Texas, in San Antonio. Yep. But there are occasions when we travel up, we do some traveling loops, but not anything planned right now. But we have another show coming up on June 10th. I'll send you a link to, how to watch it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But there's a lot of energy at those shows.
Definitely.
But I was such a big fan of Grayson Waller in NXT, and now what he was doing, he doesn't seem to be flustered at all being on the most watched pro wrestling show on TV, which is SmackDown.
I agree. He's a total natural, honestly. Like, I loved the segment with AJ Styles. And yeah, you're right. He did not seem like he was just, a youngin coming up for the first time. Like he felt that, he was meant to be there. And it was a great choice calling him up right now.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And he's already worked a couple of programs with AJ, so he's comfortable with that. And why not rekindle that heat, because they had some pretty good, it didn't last too long, but they had a couple of good battles, and this could go on. Yeah, I see it happening. It's going to be good, and it kind of foretells you who's going to get that new title. So
yeah. So I'm going to jump back to Raw then for a second, because I didn't get to see the pay-per-view today. It was on earlier today, right? I think.
Wait, that was today?
I think it was today. Was it today? Maybe not. I thought it was on today, or is it next week?
no,
I don't
know. I don't even know. It's been a crazy week. I told you guys I've been all over the place. But I want to jump back to Raw. 27th. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm like, well, I don't usually I don't get to see the Saudi shows because they're usually on at weird times. So, Chrissy, I wanted to get your thoughts on, did you see Monday Night Raw this week with Becky Lynch's promo?
Yes, I did. Not the Becky Lynch promo.
So the story that they're having with Trish Stratus coming back, and she's a bad guy now, and she's claiming to have basically been the biggest thing in women's wrestling in ever, which is a great story that they're telling. And Becky came back this week and was just spit and fire, all the accomplishments she's had and everything that she's done for women's wrestling. And are you liking that story? Do you like seeing a legend like Trish back in the ring?
Yes, she actually is my favorite, Trish.
Okay.
Have you seen clips of her stuff from the Attitude Era, or you're just seeing the recent stuff?
I actually watch the Attitude Era when I fall asleep and stuff like that. So at night. So.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Good.
I don't think we ever fell asleep watching the Attitude Era, but that's awesome.
Well, I wasn't watching back then, but I'm still trying to catch up on WCW. I'm still moving through it.
Deb falls asleep watching 2020 era Raws.
Truth.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this promo from Becky, because I feel like when she's truly invested in a story, we get like the full version of Becky. We get the very honest, no punches pulled promos. Like, I was a big fan of Becky and Ronda's feud. I think that they did such an amazing job of blurring the lines between reality and wrestling. And was that a storyline that you were following during the time, the Becky and Ronda stuff, Chrissy?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like someone like a Ronda Rousey, who is an MMA star, coming in, or are you more?
I like MMA personally.
Okay.
Too. So
Okay.
I like Ronda. I actually was watching Ronda's MMA career on ESPN the other day.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, and Shayna was no slouch either. For about a decade, she was in the top 10 ranked
Yeah.
female fighters. So, and Shayna also trained with Billy Robinson. She trained with Josh Barnett. She's like legit. Not only I actually like Shayna's her style of mixing MMA and pro wrestling. I really like the way that she.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple other questions I had for you guys. You know, they made the big announcement this week. AEW Collision is going to be starting in a few weeks. It's going to be live on Saturday nights. They announced obviously Thunder and Samoa Joe, and we saw FTR was on the poster, and a lot of big names on that poster. I know, Deb, you were excited about the announcement of this show.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to this show. I know there's been a lot of discussion about like the time slot being in Saturday nights. To me, that's no problem. I don't go out. Like, do people still go out? Do people still go clubbing and go to bars? It's way too expensive.
Young
Just
people.
stay
You know
home
when
and watch
we'll go out?
wrestling.
You know when we'll go out, Deb? When Collision is by us, we'll go out to go see.
Right. Right, exactly.
Yeah,
So
July
yeah, I have
22nd.
no problem with the Saturday night time slot. It's cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing like what the show is like. You know, obviously they're you know, they used kind of the homage to the WCW logo. So I'm kind of hoping that, you know, they might give that show a little bit of a retro look. I'm excited that, you know, more of a roster gets a chance to be showcased. We heard on Busted Open yesterday, Thunder and Dave were discussing possibilities of people on the EW roster that you might like to see featured on Collision, you know, people that we may not have seen in a while. And they only listed a few names so far of people that will be featured on Collision. My biggest one that I'm really hoping to see is Nyla Rose. I really think that Nyla needs, like, we haven't seen her in quite a while. She needs to be on TV.
I
So
agree.
Saturday
So
night is perfect.
Let's pull up the poster here, and of course we have a lot of names on here. Obviously, Orange Cassidy, MJF is a champion. Samoa Joe, Thunder, Powerhouse Hobbs, who I think should get as much TV time as possible,
Yes.
and Andrade El Idolo, of course,
Yes.
is a big name on here. Miro is on here, so I don't know what this show is going to be. You know, I've heard only bits and pieces of what they said on through the media releases that it's going to be a different style show. I don't know what that means, but I'm here for it. If they're going to give us maybe better stories, I think Dave mentioned he was hoping that we would see more in-depth stories told, which I would be a fan of.
Yeah, and I think 2 hours and live. I think that's the biggest thing, is it's gonna be live. I feel like that's
Abaddon,
something that has been a little bit of a hindrance to Rampage, is that it's not live. So, and they tape it after Dynamite, so a lot of people are probably tired and might not be willing to stay that late. So being that it's live, that's gonna make a big difference. And yes, Abaddon, I absolutely adore Abaddon. She looks great if you follow her on the socials. She posts a ton of videos and pictures. Seth and I met her at, when was it? At the last Celeb Fest we had gone to. She was the sweetest person. We had never heard her talk before. She doesn't like talk on social media or anything. She has the sweetest voice ever. And so, yeah, she's a special talent. There is no one else like her out there. So I would absolutely love to see her on Collision.
Yeah, and I know there was a lot of discussion around people being on Dark and Elevation and not being on the main shows. So like a lot of folks like myself, I don't get to see all the shows. So to me, if someone's not on Dynamite or Rampage, I just don't get to see them, even though they
Right.
might be on another show. Like, so I look at like those folks that maybe haven't gotten regular TV time. I'm hoping that they get more of an opportunity on the new show, including some of the independent talents that Dark and Elevation have featured.
Yeah.
For example, on Rampage last night, we saw not only Danny B, one half of the King Bees, who will be in action at Mission Pro on June 10th, but also Queen Uju came out and was promptly destroyed by Taya Valkyrie. So
Poor Uju.
I know. Well, she'll be in action against Mia Friday on June 10th.
Against
so
you?
that's pretty cool. No, not me. No, Mia.
Well, you
Mia,
said-
not me.
Oh, I thought it was your
I don't
Italian coming out. I'm sorry.
I don't want any of that.
I thought it was your Italian coming out. I don't know.
I'm not getting in the ring. Thank you very much.
Not me.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
Chrissy,
so that was the big
any
news.
Any wrestlers from AEW that you haven't seen in a while that you'd like to see on Collision?
That's a hard one.
Yeah. There's a few. But they're also on Ring of Honor too. So I don't know if you get that.
I
Yeah,
would
there's
like
a lot
to
of people
see,
in Ring of Honor.
Nyla Rose was
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
Yeah, she's one of our favorites. We're always talking about. We don't see enough Nyla.
Yeah.
Nyla. They make
Nyla.
fun of they make fun of my New York accent.
Nyler. I think Brian Pillman Jr. We need to see Brian Pillman Jr. I know, you know, he was in the tag team with Griff, and Griff has been hurt for a while. But I think he was on Ethan Page's vlog, or no, Sammy's vlog. Sorry, he was on Sammy's vlog, doing like little workout tutorials, and hopefully he'll be ready to come back soon. But Brian Pillman Jr. I think deserves some TV time.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure Chris from Baltimore agrees with that. That's a favorite. And I just want to point out, I'm reading here, Kevin Allard Sr. says here, wish I was always standing by you, Chrissy. With me as backup, no bully would dare.
Yep. He's actually my friend from Rhode Island.
Well,
Nice.
That's cool, you know.
I'm
Nice.
actually going
Friend
to
of
see
yours
him
is a
next
friend of ours.
weekend.
Sweet.
He actually used to own a wrestling store, and he gave me all his wrestling action figures and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
I have like
Cool.
over 2,000 action figures.
Wow.
Oh, you do?
Oh,
my
wow.
Yeah. And like
Wow.
I got a couple of things here.
You have more than a couple things, Mike.
Just-
we have the notorious Debbie Bell in the chat here, Chrissy's mom. Oh, we lost Chrissy. Oh no.
No, she's there.
Oh, there she is. Yes, yeah, we're very thankful that Chrissy was able to join us tonight. I'm a fellow Deb.
Debs Unite.
Debs Unite.
Yes. Okay.
She
Any
froze.
other? Yeah. We'll give her a second here. Any other big stories from this week that we wanted to cover? I did want to touch on Roman's promo last night was interesting, and the way that he sort of lost his temper, which is uncharacteristic for him.
Right.
And then, so of course, it's Solo and Roman against Sammy and Kevin. We see the Usos jump Sammy and Kevin, which was, counter to what Roman wanted to do, and he lost his temper, saying, hey, I had a message to deliver, and you messed it up. You effed up, right? I love the backstage stuff after the break when they came back and they hashed all that stuff out. But there was a moment where Roman is leaving, and Solo didn't move, but Roman bumped into him, and Solo gave him a look like, is that where we're going? And Roman
Mhm.
was there was that tension moment, and Roman just sort of shook it off and rolled out of the ring and pouted. And I thought that was, what was your perspective, Deb, on that segment?
I loved it. I kind of feel like since Mania, this is the first time we've seen Roman since Mania. So, I kind of feel like there was a little bit of a stall in the Bloodline story. But now we have Roman back. They made the announcement that it'll be Roman and Solo going for the titles in Saudi Arabia, the tag team titles. So I thought that exchange last night was quite interesting. Just kind of like the shoulder bump accidentally, and then that stare was quite interesting. So, next week at Night of Champions, we're gonna see if there's any further tension between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
If there is, it's interesting because I'm not sure where they're gonna go with it, but they've done a great job of planting these little seeds where we're not sure where it's going, and isn't that a good thing?
Yeah, and let's not forget next week Night of Champions is in the daytime for us.
Yeah, it's in the early afternoon. Gonna have to set an alarm.
But no, it's just they. All right, so there was a lull for like a week or two, and now all of a sudden now it's back. It's like, and everything. I don't know how to explain it. Like everything they say and do in the ring, and every facial expression and everything is premeditated.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so natural.
Yeah. Well, it's so layered, and we've
verklempt.
You're verklempt.
Can I also say that my favorite part of the week? I just want to talk Busted Open for a second. Oh, our guest has returned. There's Chrissy.
She's back.
Hey, Chrissy. We got you back. There she is.
She's back. Oh, I love your glasses. This is the first time I'm really seeing the color on your glasses.
Thank you.
I did want to just
and better than ever.
My favorite moment this week was on Busted Open when Bully asked Stone Cold Steve Austin if Cody Rhodes should have won at WrestleMania, and agreed with Dave, and Stone Cold Steve Austin says, no, he shouldn't. Dave's wrong. And Dave's like, I can't argue with Steve Austin. I got three Hall of Famers here arguing with me.
So my favorite part of that interview was at the end when Stone Cold got wanted in Stone Cold voice by Bully, and Stone Cold responds to him. So I died. I'm like, Stone Cold got caught with his own what?
Yeah. My favorite part was Tommy saying, what are you going to do now, Dave? What are you going to do now?
I want to go home happy.
Dave's like, I don't agree. I'm not going to argue with him, but I still don't agree. Dude, that was awesome. That was really funny.
It was funny.
But this shows you how over Cody has grown since WrestleMania. He's only gotten more popular. Roman's out there in the ring. Cody's not in the ring, and the crowd week after week cheers for a guy that's not even on the show.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I'm so happy
It's
for
true.
Cody. It's so cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chrissy, did you enjoy Cody Rhodes' return to WWE?
Yes, that was my favorite moment.
There were some people in this room who were there.
I was there in Texas when he came out, and our seats were pretty high up, so I was really just looking at the jumbotron. But because our seats were high up, we had an amazing view of kind of like a 360 view of the entire stadium. So I saw the entire crowd just explode, and oh my God, I'll never forget that.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm very happy with the storyline. I'm glad that Cody didn't win, although I did predict him winning and I was very wrong. I'll own it. It's me. Sorry. But I do
thought he
think
was going to win too.
a lot of us did. You know, who's to say?
Who's to say? Yeah, it's a maybe
At best. But I do like where they're headed with it. I like that we're getting little breadcrumbs of story. They're not just giving us everything at once. And I think it's incredible that we're coming up on 3 years in September, October of this storyline. And it could easily go well past Mania next year, and I'd be just fine with it.
Yeah, selfishly, I want Cody to win next year at Mania in Philly because I'll be there.
Yeah.
So
I'll be there too.
Yay! I only live about an hour and a half north of Philly, so it's an easy drive for me. So I'm definitely going to be there the whole weekend.
It's only like 5 hours from me, so.
Okay, that's not bad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Chrissy, we have to get you to the Busted Open party next year. You'll have a blast meeting everybody.
Yes, I would love to go.
Yes.
Yes.
That was how great is the wrestling community, Chrissy? Not only the way they treat you, but just in general, it really is. It's maligned from the outside. It's maligned from the outside, but on the inside, it's a really great community.
Yes, I love the wrestling community.
They're so great that this busted open fathead, these Hydra head. I had it on top of my car. I lost it in Jersey. Some guy from Canada saw it fly off, grabbed it. Another guy said, "Hey, that's Mongrovian Mike. I know him." He grabbed it. Toto Tom grabbed it. And now I met him at the wrestling show last weekend. And it's back. It's back home. So
that's awesome.
That's what happens. This has so many autographs on it from people, Tito Santana and Greg the Hammer, and just so many people.
I see Mark Henry too.
Mark Henry's on there, yes.
Big fan of Mark.
Chokehold. There you go. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
By Mark Henry, he gave him a chokehold.
That's a cardboard cutout, Chrissy. That's not actually Mark Henry.
Really Mark Henry.
Mark Henry is the best. He's awesome.
He's the best.
Everybody on that show really is. Even Bully, even though his name is Bully, he's not a bully if you don't deserve to be, like the guys that pick on you, they're the ones that he would bully. He'd give them a mafia kick. Yeah.
Mafia kick to the
He'd
face.
go, you want to make fun of this beautiful girl's teeth? You're getting your teeth knocked out now. Here you go.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we need to resort to violence.
Well, we don't. I'm talking about Bully. We know how Bully reacts. I'm not.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
I'm actually doing MMA fitness, so I can punch them.
Nice.
See, Chrissy can handle herself.
You've been gaining weight, haven't you? You've been getting,
I have.
weight up, right?
Yes, I was 67 pounds back in like 2018, and then I mean, since then, I'm in the 80s or 70s or 90s for my weight.
Okay.
Good.
Hang
Building up your strength.
I'll get you some good Italian cooking. You'll be up. You'll get some weight.
If you're from New York, right?
Yes, Monrovia and New York. Yes.
my aunt actually owns a restaurant in Brooklyn called Ponte Vecchio. You should check it out.
Oh.
Okay.
That sounds amazing.
Ponte Vecchio. The next time I'm in Brooklyn, I'll remember that. If I don't remember, if I'm going to Brooklyn, I will message you and you tell me the name.
Okay.
We'll go there.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I'm actually coming up to New York in the summer in June.
Well,
nice.
You're welcome to stay at Casa Mongrovia.
Well, guys, this has been awesome. Chrissy, I can't thank you enough for coming on and joining.
Thank you for having me. It was an honor.
Oh, it's such a fun time, and you're always welcome on the show. Folks, please make sure you go and follow Chrissy at BellChrissy1 on Twitter. Check out all her socials. like and subscribe and follow everything she's doing, because she's an awesome person, and we're really, really happy that you were able to join us tonight.
You're amazing people too. Thank you.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
You inspire us, kid.
Yes.
Aw, thank you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Mike, where can folks find you on the socials?
They can find me at Mongrovian Mike. I just wanna take this second just to say a couple of things. 12 years ago today, we lost the Macho Man. So to the Macho Man, in 2020 we lost Shad Gaspar, who died a hero, saving his child,
Yes.
saving his kid, and we never forget that. And I'm wearing the Iron Maiden stuff. I have the Iron Maiden shirts behind me in memory of Jeffrey Joseph McMahon. It was just nobody, special to a lot of people, but special to many people here on Long Island. And he was the biggest Iron Maiden fan and Queensryche fan, and we always saw him at all the shows, especially Maiden shows. I only wish I had pictures of him, like I have pictures of you guys now that I always cherish. It's easy to take pictures, so take a lot of pictures and give people flowers out there. And that's just it, Up the irons, Jeff. Gonna miss you, bro.
Well said.
My glass is empty now, but cheers.
Always empty.
I have a soda.
I told you to switch to those gallon glasses.
Oh.
That's a whole different show. That's a different conversation. Deb, how about you?
I am at That's So Debonair on the Twitter machine and on Instagram. Please make sure you follow the Nation's Corner Instagram page. I'm trying to revamp it. I'm trying to post a lot of videos from all the indie shows that we go to. I'll create a couple clips of this, interview right now, and post those to go. So go follow our Instagram page, Nation's Corner. Trying to get, some kind of videos out there to help promote, the other indie companies and the indie wrestlers that we support, such as Mission Pro and CCW.
Yep, well said. You can find me at PW Front Row across all the socials. You can also find me on Thursday nights for Mission Pro's Unmatched with Trent and Magellan, the best host from the West Coast. We're going to be doing a lot of fun things coming up. We have lots of fun stuff coming up on Mission Pro. We've got Match Mondays. We release new matches every Monday. Tuesday on a Mission, we have special guests coming up every week leading up to our pay-per-view on June 10th. You can get tickets at missionprowrestling.com, and there are sponsorship opportunities at missionprowrestling@gmail.com. Make sure to check it out June 10th. Folks, we'll be back again next week. I hope everybody has a great week. Enjoy your weekend. And Chrissy, thank you again.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.